Hey friends! This is Wick from Wick's Wealth, your financial guide who lights up the world of money with clear, no BS explanations. Today we're tackling one of the biggest money decisions you'll ever face, renting versus buying a house in 2026. Not the fluffy American dream version everyone repeats, but the real math with today's interest rates, inflation, and opportunity cost. Ready? Let's dive in. Picture this, you've finally saved up $80,000. It's your hard-earned cash, late nights, skipped vacations, saying no to that new gadget. Now you're staring at two paths. On one side, your friends and family are shouting, buy a house. Renting is just throwing money away. It's an investment for life. On the other side, a little voice inside you whispers, but what if rates are high? What if I need to move in 5 years? What if that 80K could grow into something much bigger? You feel that pressure, right? It's not just about where you live. It's a psychological trap that millions fall into every year. We all crave stability, status, and that warm feeling of I own this. But in 2026, with 30-year mortgage rates sitting around 6.3% and average home prices near $400,000, the honest truth is this: sometimes renting plus smart investing actually builds more wealth than buying. Sounds crazy? Let's run the real numbers, no hype, just clear examples you can understand. First, let's talk about why that always buy belief is so sticky. From the time we're kids, we're told a house is security, it's status, it's real wealth. Back in the 2010s when rates were 3 or 4% and prices were climbing fast, that advice often worked. But 2026 is different. Inflation is running about 3%, the stock market has historically delivered 9 to 10% average annual returns over long periods, and homes have grown around 3.5 to 4% per year on average. Add in today's higher borrowing costs and suddenly the math changes. People still rush to buy because of fear of missing out and because renting feels like money down the drain. That's classic psychology, loss aversion, and status quo bias. We overvalue the emotional comfort of ownership and undervalue how much money could be working for us elsewhere. Now let's break it down step by step, just like you would in real life. We'll use a realistic 2026 example, a $400,000 house. You put down 20%, that's $80,000. You finance the remaining $320,000 at 6.3% for 30 years. Your monthly mortgage payment comes to about $1,981. That's just principal and interest. But owning isn't just the mortgage. Add property taxes, roughly 1.1% of the home value, or about $4,400 a year, which is $367 a month. Home insurance runs around $1,500 a year, or $125 monthly. Maintenance and repairs? Expect about 1% of the home's value each year, another $4,000 annually, or $333 a month. So in the early years you're looking at roughly $2,800 a month just to live in your house. Compare that to renting a similar place. Average rent right now is around $1,800 a month. The difference? Almost $1,000 every single month. That's not pocket change. With renting, that extra money can go straight into investments. With buying, a huge chunk of your payment in the first decade goes straight to the bank as interest, sometimes up to 80% of each payment. Let's talk psychology again. When you pay rent, your brain screams, this money is gone forever. It creates stress and guilt. When you pay a mortgage, it feels like you're building your future. But the reality is different. In the first 10 to 15 years of a 30-year loan, you're mostly paying interest. Only later does your equity really grow. And if you move after 7 years, which is about average for most people, selling costs you 6% in realtor fees plus any market dips. Renting gives you flexibility. Want to take a new job in another city? Easy. Want to invest in a business or your kids' education? Your cash isn't locked in bricks and mortar. Now let's fast forward 20 years to 2046 and run the real math. We'll use conservative but realistic assumptions. Homes appreciate at 4% per year, inflation at 3%, and your investments in a broad stock index like the S&P 500 return 10% annually. The long-term historical average including dividends. If you buy, after 20 years your house is worth about $876,000. You've paid roughly $475,000 in mortgage payments over those 2 decades. A big portion of that was interest. Your remaining loan balance after 20 years would still be around $180,000 to $200,000. Add in all the taxes, insurance, and repairs, you've covered hundreds of thousands more, and your net equity from the home sits around $670,000 to $700,000. Sounds solid, right? Now the renting path. You keep your $80,000 and invest it immediately. At 10% annual growth, that single lump sum grows to about $538,000 in 20 years. On top of that, you invest the monthly difference, roughly $1,000 at first, and even as rent rises with inflation, to about $3,250 a month by year 20, the average amount you can invest each month stays around $900 to $1,200. Over 20 years of consistent investing at 10%, that monthly stream turns into another $500,000 to $700,000. Total for the renter investor? Roughly $1.1 to $1.3 million in liquid investments. You could even buy a house later if you want, on your own terms. The buyer ends up with about $700,000 tied up in a house minus all the opportunity cost. That's a $300,000 to $500,000 advantage for renting and investing in this scenario. This isn't theory, it's 2026 math with real rates and real market returns. But hold on, you might say, what about the roof over your head and peace of mind? Here's where psychology kicks in again. Owning gives you control, paint the walls any color, get a dog, never worry about a landlord raising rent. That emotional value is real. But you pay a premium for it, sometimes a very expensive one. Renting gives freedom. Many wealthy people I've studied actually rented for years while aggressively investing the difference. They built serious wealth first, then bought when it made sense for their lifestyle. There are other 2026 realities to consider. The housing market has cooled since the crazy 2020 to 2022 boom. Inventory is up, but rates are still elevated. In expensive cities like New York, San Francisco, or Seattle, where rent can eat 40 to 50% of your income and homes are overpriced, renting almost always wins on pure math. In more affordable Midwest or Southern areas, owning can be closer or even better. It depends on your numbers. Here's the practical takeaway I want you to remember: stop blindly following buying is always better. Fire up a free online calculator, search Rent versus Buy Calculator 2026, and plug in your actual city, income, and plans. Ask yourself these honest questions: how long do I realistically plan to stay in one place? Under 10 to 12 years? Renting often wins. Can I consistently invest the difference at 8 to 10% returns? If yes, renting becomes very powerful. Am I ready for surprise $10,000 or $15,000 repair bills? How much do I value flexibility and mental peace versus the feeling of ownership? The biggest lesson is this: money is a tool, not the goal. A house is a great asset when it fits your life and the math. But if it locks up your ability to build real wealth through investing, it's just an expensive roof, not an investment. In 2026, the real math shows that for many people, especially younger folks who are mobile and disciplined with investing, renting plus index funds can create more wealth over 15 to 20 years. For others who crave stability and plan to stay long-term, buying remains the right move, but only after cold, hard calculations, not because everyone says so. Don't let emotions or other people's stories decide for you. Run the numbers. Look at your own goals. And remember, true wealth isn't measured in square footage. It's built through discipline, time, and smart choices. If this video lit a spark for you, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me your city and what choice you're facing right now. And subscribe to Wick's Wealth for more simple, powerful money explanations every week. Until next time, friends, protect your flame and protect your future. This is Wick, signing off. Thank you for watching Wick's Wealth. Remember, true wealth is built through discipline, time, and smart choices. See you in the next video. Protect your flame. Your money. Your rules. Until next time, keep that flame of financial wisdom burning bright. I'm Wick, and this is Wick's Wealth.